The role of human resources in corporate entrepreneurship development. Sarapan pagi dengan ketan, setelah itu mencuci kain. Dengan senang hati saya ucapkan selamat datang dan selamat bergabung para hadirin. Excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning, peace be upon us. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Steven Skilder. I am the student of Magister Management of Ibnu Sina University. It is an amazing opportunity to be your master of ceremony today. We are delighted to welcome all of participants to international webinar, The Role of Human Resources in Corporate Entrepreneurship Development. For your information, this webinar is organized by Magister Management Program, Faculty of Economics and Business of Ibnu Sina University. This is the annual webinar of Magister Management Program, which had been held for more than twice within these years. What an extraordinary achievement for the advancement of Ibnu Sina University. Give big applause for Magister Management Program of Ibnu Sina University. The Honorable Mrs. Dentist Andi Tendri Umu MM as Chairman of IAPISTA, the Honorable Asep Professor Dr. Haji Mustaqim Suaib, SAMM CDD as Rector of Ibnu Sina University, the Honorable Dr. Sabri SAMM CDD as Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Business in Ibnu Sina University. The Honorable Dr. Henry Herman S.A. MSE CTT as a Chairman of Magister Management of Economic and Business of Ibnu Sina University. And the Excellency, our keynote speakers, the Honorable Speaker from Ibnu Sina University of Indonesia, Dr. Henry Herman S.A. MSE CTT. And additional information that Dr. Henry is the chairman of the Magister Management Program and also the chairman of this committee for the international webinar today. Honorable speaker from Australia. Yeah, this is the second speaker that I mentioned the name. Yeah, Honorable Mr. Welly Roda, a consultant and visiting fellow. Business Continuity Management, Human Resources Management, and Strategic Marketing. Honorable Speaker from University Terengganu, Malaysia, Asok Professor Dr. Abi Sofyan bin Abdul Halim. And I also give my high respect for Mrs. Asok Professor Dr. Katijah Omar, BSc, MSc, PhD, who also attends this web seminar today. Together with the international students from several countries, Muhammad Ahmad from Pakistan, Neti Mardiati from Indonesia, Isra Salah Koko Hasan from Sudan, and Puja Kurana from India. We also welcome the Vice Rector 1, Vice Rector 2, and Vice Rector 3 of Ibnu Sina University. Also the leader of LPMI, the leader of LPPM, and the leader of BAK, the leader of Financial Department, and all of the leaders in Ibnu Sina University. Today is a very special moment for the anniversary of 46 years of our beloved IAPISTA. And lastly, the Honorable all of the audience's seminar participants. First of all, let's say thanks to God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has been giving us a healthy and merciful, so we can attend and participate in this event without any obstacles. Secondly, may peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us into the right ways of life as today. On this special event, we have several agendas, so allow me to read several sequences of our agendas today. Firstly, opening. Secondly, singing the national anthems of Indonesia. Then from Malaysia, and Leslie from Australia. Next, hymns and march of Ibnu Sina, then reading prayers to God, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then opening speech from several leaders of Ibnu Sina University. And this webinar is hosted by a moderator. Next, the sequence of the agenda today is closing. Okay, all blessed audiences, the first agenda is opening. Let's start this agenda by reading Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Furthermore, the national anthem starting from Indonesia Raya and will be continued with the national anthem of Malaysia, then continued by the national anthem from Australia. The audience, all my honorable audience, is in a perfect manner. What a very beautiful melodies. And next, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to listen together the beautiful melody also from Mars and Hymns of Ibnu Sina. Please, in perfect manner. Thank you.
Bersyukur padamu Allah Esa atas rahmat anugerah.
Masih di mute loh. Well, to make this webinar is blessed by Allah and running very well, we will together say prayer to God, who will be led by Dr. Andika Prasetya Nugraha, SAMM. Screen is yours, Dr. Andika.
Terima kasih. Baik Bapak Ibu, semoga pada hari ini, acara ini dapat berjalan dengan lancar dan tiada kendala. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali rasulillahi ajmain. Allahumma inna nas'aluka salamatan fid din wa afiatan fil jasad wa ziyadatan fil ilmi wa barakatan fil rizki wa taubatan qabla al maut wa rahmatan indal maut wa maghfiratan ba'dal maut. Allahumma win alaina fi syakaratil maut wa najata minan nar afwa indal hisab. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaitana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmah innaka antal wahhab. Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa dzurriyyatina qurrata a'yun walil muttaqina imama. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami yang Maha Pengasih dan Maha Penyayang. Pada hari ini, pada acara internasional webinar Magister Management dengan tema The Role of Human Resources in Corporate Entrepreneurship Development. Semoga Engkau memberikan kebaikan, memberikan ilmu, sehingga kami dapat menyerap ilmu-Mu ya Allah. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamun alal mursalin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Andika. And all the blessed participants. Next, we move to the next agenda is greeting. The first speech is going to be delivered by the Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Business of Ibnu Sina University, Dr. Sabri SAMM CTT. Time is yours, Mr. Sabri. Kita di sini. Iya. Silakan, Pak.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yang terhormat Ketua Yayasan Pendidikan Ibnu Sina, Ibu Dr. Andi Tandri Umum MM. Yang terhormat Rektor Universitas Ibnu Sina, Asosiat Profesor Dr. Haji Mustaqim Suaib, SAMM. Yang terhormat Dr. Henry Herman, SAMSI, Keynote Speak from Ibnu Sina University Indonesia. Yang terhormat Asosiat Profesor Dr. Muhammad Abi Sofyan bin Abdul Halim, Keynote Speak from University Terengganu, Malaysia. Yang terhormat Mr. Benson Muhammad, Keynote Speak dari Singapura. Pertama-tama, marilah kita sama-sama memanjatkan puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala yang telah memberikan kita kesehatan, kesempatan sehingga pada pagi hari ini kita bisa hadir bersama dalam rangka mengikuti seminar internasional. Mudah-mudahan apa yang kita laksanakan pada pagi hari ini diridhoi oleh Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Dan selawat kita kirimkan kepada Nabi besar Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Semoga di yaumil kiamat nanti kita mendapatkan syafaatnya. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada MC karena telah memberi saya kehormatan besar untuk menyampaikan pidato. Selamat datang di kesempatan yang baik ini. Sebelum kita mulai seminar ini, saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih yang sebesar-besar
Suaranya, Pak.
Hilang suaranya.
sumber daya manusia dalam pengembangan kewirausahaan perusahaan terhadap mahasiswa, tidak hanya dari dalam negeri, tetapi juga dari beberapa negara lain, seperti Malaysia dan Singapura. Selain itu juga, kita akan belajar dari negara-negara tersebut bagaimana mengatasi tantangan peran sumber daya manusia dalam pengembangan kewirausahaan perusahaan di masa mendatang. Untuk lebih jelasnya, mari kita akan menyimak materi dari keynote speaker yang luar biasa. Dengan menghadiri pertemuan semacam ini, saya yakin Anda akan mendapatkan banyak keuntungan. Anda dapat meningkatkan bahasa Inggris Anda dan memperluas persahabatan Anda. Silakan berpartisipasi dalam kesempatan emas ini. Dan saya berharap partisipasi Anda akan membawa beberapa manfaat. Mungkin hanya itu yang bisa saya sampaikan. Mohon maaf jika masih banyak kekurangan dalam penyelenggaraan acara ini. Semoga webinar internasional ini dapat membawa banyak manfaat bagi kita semua sekalian. Selamat mengikuti seminar ini untuk semua peserta. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bapak Dr. Sabri, for the great speech today. And what has been mentioned by Dr. Sabri that this seminar is very valuable for you to increase your ability in English. And we learn English together through this webinar international. Okay, next is remark from our beloved rector of Ibnu Sina University and also officially offering this international webinar. Let's invite Dr. Professor Dr. Hadi Mustaqim Suaib, SAMM Sidri. Turn is yours, Mr. Mustaqim.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bisa dengar suara saya? Oke ya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. para keynote speaker, Mr. Muhammad Nabi Sofyan, Mr. Rauda, Willie Rauda. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Fine,
Okay,
thank you. It's a pleasure.
good, good. Yang saya hormati rekan dekan Fakultas Ekonomi, Kaprodi, yang juga keynote speaker. Oh, ternyata hadir juga Ketua Yayasan kita, Ibu Dr. Gigi Andi Tenri, Umu MM, para peserta webinar internasional yang berbahagia. Alhamdulillah, syukurillah, pagi hari yang berbahagia ini kita bisa melaksanakan webinar yang sudah beberapa kali kita laksanakan, dan ya kita konsisten melaksanakan webinar ini dari awal sampai sekarang. Tetap kita melaksanakan webinar secara internasional. Artinya pembicara-pembicara yang hadir di tengah-tengah kita ini memang betul-betul memateri keynote speaker dari luar Indonesia. Sebelumnya dari Turki, dari Malaysia, dari Filipina, sekarang Mr. Willie Rauda dari Australia. Artinya tentu hal ini sangat menjadikan kampus kita ini ya, berkembang, dan kedepannya kita tidak akan merubah hal ini dan tidak akan melanjutkan kegiatan ini, bahkan kita akan perluas nanti webinar-webinar ini ke negara-negara yang memang punya hubungan baik dengan negara kita. Mungkin nanti ke Timur Tengah atau ke Eropa dan lain sebagainya. Nah ini mudah-mudahan webinar ini berjalan dengan baik, sukses, dan rekan-rekan semua mendapatkan teori-teori yang terbaru, tentu ya manfaat untuk yang kawan-kawan peserta, manfaat yang kawan-kawan dapat, sehingga studinya di kampus kita ini berjalan dengan baik dan ya, bermanfaat bagi kita semua. Saya kira itu yang bisa saya sampaikan dengan mengucapkan Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Webinar internasional yang ditajuk oleh Fakultas Ekonomi Universitas Indonesia dengan ini saya nyatakan dibuka secara umum. Billahi fi sabilil haq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you for our rector, Mr. Mustaqim, who has been opening this ceremony of International Webinar Day. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to our main program, our webinar session today, who will be led by our moderator, Mrs. Aurora Ustiramala, who is also a student of Magister Management of Ibnu Sina University. But before we begin our session for today, please all the participants to open up your camera, because we're gonna take pictures together first. And don't forget, for the participants who haven't been opening the camera, just open the camera and change the background, please. Okay, are you ready? We're gonna take pictures from slide to one slide to another slide. Okay, everyone smile. Slide number 1, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you. The next slide. Okay, everyone, give your very big smile. 1, 2, 3. Yes, thank you. For the next slide. 1, 2, 3. Well, the next slide. 1, 2, 3. Is there any? Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Now the stage belongs to Miss Rora Ustira Mala. Please welcome Miss Mala. Miss Rora, how are you today? You look always wonderful every day, Miss Mala. Miss Mala. I'm sorry. Visit for several times. Let me do it, please. Okay, thank you. I heard that your son is going to school at the university in Russia. Is that right? Wow.
Right, alhamdulillah.
Okay, Miss Laura, you're going to be a moderator of this webinar today, and time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kiki. Well, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning for everybody. Let me introduce myself. I'm Rora Ustiramala from Ibnu Sina University. Here we have the 3 speakers, and after the presentation material is finished, then all of you from the participants can be questioned. We give only the 2 questions, and after that it's answered by speaker. Okay, the first speaker, Professor Dr. Muhammad Abi Sofyan bin Abdul Hakim from University Malaysia Terengganu. In general, the field of study focus on entrepreneurship and related the mobility for those communities who are staying in rural, urban, suburban areas. Also, various academic actions have been done to realize the new theory and concept through research and implementing the knowledge transfer through engagement with community and industrial players. In order to achieve the goal as academic in University Malaysia Terengganu, several research activities have been carried out under School of Business and Management of Maritime and Institute of Tropical Biodiversity and Sustainable Development. Hence, there have been done some research and work in field of social entrepreneurship for several articles in journals, books, monographs, and articles for magazine and chapter in book. Currently, he's trying to explore the study of entrepreneurship in aspect of sociology and socio-economic, as well as in depth the study of community-based enterprise in rural areas, ecotourism, development in perspective of sustainability, social impact assessment, and the study of social economy and environmental for rural entrepreneur development. He has also employed record from 1992 and from 2019 until present. He is head of small industry and entrepreneurship department at School of Business, Economic and Social Development, University Malaysia Terengganu, and also Institute of Tropical Biodiversity and Sustainable Development, University Malaysia Terengganu. Okay, hello, Prof. Dr. Muhammad Abi Sofyan. Hello, Prof.
Yeah.
Hello, Prof.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hello? I cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Prof. How are you today?
Okay, Alhamdulillah. My line is so splitting today. Hello?
Yes, Prof. I cannot hear you clearly.
Yeah, I think because of our line here is not well, maybe slow.
Okay, no problem.
Can you hear?
Yeah, no problem, Prof. You can start your presentation. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And also good morning to all the maybe not non-Muslim. Yeah. So by this morning, actually, I'm going to present what the topic is the role of human resource in corporate entrepreneurship development here. So I know most of you are already studied, even you know already what actually the concept of human resource. But the important is here, what we can see here, the importance of human resource. The importance of human resource in corporate sector, the importance of human resource in industry here, and then how we apply the concept of resource in the or maybe the current issue today. Because in industry, even in a country, they have their own problem. So how we can apply the concept of human resource? So here, for my just simple presentation this morning, I cannot go for the content of human resource. We discuss human resource in a corporate entrepreneurship, how we can go discuss a simple overview here. Yeah, nowadays most of country, even Indonesia also, and also in Malaysia, and also Southeast Asia here becoming growth in terms of economy. And then there is effect of development. There will be effect growth of economy, the demand of manpower in any industry. The demand of manpower become increasing today by today. Therefore, the business organization become more complex, in context of marketing, and more complex in terms of financial and even in terms of human resource. Now, this morning we talk about overview in terms of because of the current development, it more than the latest study in university. even with the latest finding in the research in terms of human resource, we create the new finding in terms of
Hello, Prof. Prof. Abi, are you still there? For participants, please wait a moment. I think have the technical issue.
hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, currently, several multinational companies today has organized various strategies to global business. We never touch on Microsoft, but we're talking about the global company, national company, through the business doing to the other, and then they try to create license. They try to they give to the other. It's like license in Indonesia to run the business, to organize business, to license the local company in Indonesia operate the business here. Turnkey agency, so many.
Hello, Prof. Abi. Prof. Abi. Okay. Because of the Prof. Abi have the signal problem, I think I'm so sorry. We continue to the next speaker. Hello, Mr. Waliroda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Okay. For the participant, let me inform to all of you again that actually the time is for the Mr. Bensoff because of have the urgent needs. He must go to meet the government minister this morning at the same time. So Mr. Waliroda will be on behalf of him, and I will be informed to all of you that Mr. Waliroda, as the Australian, have the 30 years of experience with global MNC in the following in the industry as banking and financial services, insurance, hotel and retail, oil and gas and chemical, logistics and shipping, government sector, manufacturing. An academic and visiting at university and government institutes globally in areas of business continuity, management, organization behavior, human resources, organization development, strategic planning, and strategic marketing. So, to all of you, please pay attention for him material is very important to all of you. Okay, Mr. Waliroda, time is yours.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. It's my absolute pleasure. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share my screen and let's get started. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for the introduction. Let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Wally Rauda. I'm an Australian, and I have been an academic and a speaker in human resources. I have been an advisor to government in performance management and in all areas of HR for some 30 years. Today, I hope to talk to you about what HR role plays in entrepreneurship, especially in the corporate world. Today, more than ever, HR has become not just an element of corporate structure. Many people treat HR just as another back office department of the corporate structure. Unfortunately, most companies around the world follow that belief. They do not treat HR as a critical element of the corporate strategy or the corporate structure. Today, what I hope to infuse is the idea that HR is every company's most valuable asset. They get the buildings, they get the factory floor, they get the machines, they get the board. The company's most important and most valuable asset are its people. Without the people that run the organization, right down to the office girl, the secretary, the receptionist, the people on the factory floor that actually churn the clock every day in order for that corporate entity to be productive and function as a profitable unit. Without the number one asset, that corporate entity will fail. Human resources plays a crucial role in the development of any corporate entrepreneurship within any organization, no matter what part of the world it's in. Corporate entrepreneurship, ladies and gentlemen, refers to the process of fostering entrepreneurial spirit, entrepreneurial mindset, and encouraging innovation, encouraging people to take risks within a corporate structure with the intent of driving growth and creating value. Now, what do I mean by growth? Growth results from productivity. Productivity will only come if you have the right people on the ground in order to churn the clock or keep the clock ticking. Without the people, the number one and the most important asset that any entity can have, it doesn't matter how many members of the board you have. It doesn't matter who sits on the board. Without the people that run the company at the root level, the company will fail. Employees capable of innovating, taking risks, and exchanging knowledge are necessary for any organization. But for people to receive the right level of motivation and make the clock tick, it's just like a car. A car without petrol or a car with no water in its radiator will fail. And that is one of the biggest problems that entrepreneurs and the corporate structure follows or fails to recognize today. They fail to recognize that the number one asset, people, need to be treated as people. And there's two words that many HR experts around the world fail to understand. And that is, HR requires one core ingredient, and that's called people centricity. People centricity means being able to understand the people that work for you and put yourself in their shoes. The head of HR needs to put himself in the shoes of every employee in the organization. He needs to understand how they think, what they believe, and how secure they feel at work. So HR without people centricity is really not HR. It's just somebody processing paperwork, leave, recruitment, termination, manpower budgets. That's just paper. That is not HR. HR is about people. In order to form a HR structure and be able to promote entrepreneurship and be able to make that process of entrepreneurship successful, you need to have the right assets in place. And the most valuable asset, before you worry about the machines, before you worry about the cars, before you worry about the buildings, before you worry about the delivery vans, is the people who run the organization. You need to pick the right people. You need to pick people who are talented, driven, that meet a certain company culture or a certain chemistry and share the vision of the company. But companies fail because they fail to actually educate the people that work for them with their vision. The right people in any corporate entity, in any entrepreneurship function can transform your business and accelerate its growth. The business will only grow at the speed that the number one asset, its people, drive it. If they don't drive it, it will not accelerate. It will come to a halt. So the basic rule of entrepreneurship, before you go into any investment in any business or corporate structure, is to make sure you have the talent required to make that entrepreneurship or that business structure functional and to be able to achieve the goal of delivering a product or service in return for a fee or profit. Let's look at some famous words that Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple Inc., put over and became a tag. He said, when you hire people, don't tell them what to do. Simply tell them how much they should do and what their goals are. But don't try to teach them how to eat fish when they've eaten fish all their lives. So when you go on the path of setting up an organization or a corporate entity, your number one asset, your people who are going to drive that asset, have to have the right talent. They have to have the right skills to drive that vision. HR commonly refers to a department or function within any organization that typically is responsible for managing and overseeing the human capital or workforce. I want you to change that. I want you to start thinking it's there to oversee the company's number one asset, its people. Its people are its number one asset. Its number one asset are its workforce. HR, ladies and gentlemen, deals with many aspects of that corporate entity's chemistry. It deals with employee management, people management. It deals with talent selection, hiring. Make sure you hire the right people at the right price in order for them to do the task they're employed to do. It sets down the groundwork for managing those people and motivating them. HR is responsible for training and developing people, making sure we compensate people correctly, managing their performance, and ensuring a stable and professional element of employee relations, how employees interact within the company culture, how employees interact with managers, how managers interact with employees. Do we have a proper process of leadership? Do our managers understand what leadership are, or are they just backyard managers? What happens with backyard managers is they usually push people to get something done and people run. That is not people-centric human resource management. That is what we call backyard management. Every company needs controlling management. They need people that push, but below them, they need people who take the push and then use it to lead the people to follow. But if you just push, people will run. So push without leadership and having people follow you is basically a push to bankruptcy. Okay, so let's go on and talk more about the elements of the HR function and their effect on entrepreneurship and the corporate structure. The primary goal of HR is to ensure that the organization has the right people with the right skills, knowledge, and capabilities to achieve the entrepreneurship's goal and in terms the corporate entity's goals of being profitable. Every corporate entity, no matter which entrepreneur starts it, is only one goal: to be able to be profitable. Human resource people or human resource professionals act as strategic partners to senior management. They should be seen as an extension of senior management, not just a support back office, paper pushing clerical department. They should be seen as an essential part of the chemistry, and they should be a strategic partner with everybody in executive management to ensure alignment of the organization. Because an organization without its number one asset, its people, will not be able to function. The people are a core element of the overall strategy of how you're going to run the business. HR plays a very critical role in the success of any corporate entity. In actual fact, it plays a critical role in the business plan that any entrepreneur documents before he makes an investment to start a business. It's responsible for fostering a work environment, a positive work environment with the right skills to drive profitability. HR is responsible for promoting employee engagement and well-being to make sure that you have a high retention rate and a low turnover. Because the higher your turnover rate of your number one most valuable asset, your people, that means that will have a detrimental effect on productivity. You will have to constantly keep retraining, and that will affect the level of service that you're going to provide to your customers. HR plays a very important role in resolving conflicts, not only conflicts with lower ranked employees, but conflicts between managers who don't know how to lead and conflicts between different departments within the organization, which in turn have an impact on the motivation of our number one asset, our people. HR is the one that facilitates professional growth and development opportunities for not only the company and its advancement in the industry it's in, but also for the employees that work for it. Let's go back to the basic mindset that no company can expand, no entrepreneur can grow without the right people in place. It doesn't matter what the board has planned. It doesn't matter how much your investors are going to invest. Unless you're able to manage that investment by having the right people strategy concreted on paper and understood by your management team, and the management team are able to understand that HR is a specialized science that should be left to HR professionals, then at the end of the day, your investment will be water being flushed down the toilet. And that has been evident by companies all over the world. Companies have actually lost millions because of their inability to manage their number one asset. Let's talk about examples. You all have heard of Australia. You have all heard of France. You have all heard of the United Kingdom. Australia is basically one country where employee relations, industrial relations, is one of the biggest hurdles that the corporate entity faces in running their business. Because unionism is very strong in Australia. Intellectual property is good, but without people to manage your intellectual property and produce goods and services for you to make a profit, you don't have a business. So when a business cannot understand the right strategy to actually meet industrial relation laws and union demands in Australia, or even in the UK, or even, let's talk about Paris. Air France was crippled for nearly 6 months because of problems it had in remunerating its crew, both captains, technical crew, and flight attendants. British Airways, on a regular basis, actually suspends operations. Flights are cancelled, again, because of a failure of them being able to come to agreement with unions in Britain on how to reward their number one asset. They never forget how much to spend on aircraft. They never forget to pay the board's salary. But what they do forget is they forget about the importance of ensuring that the people who make the clock tick, the people who fly the aircraft, the people who service the customers on board and give the company a reputation are rewarded correctly, because without them, the board has nothing to manage. And if you are in an economy where unionism plays an important role, you cannot function unless you have HR professionals who can negotiate with that union and be able to develop the right strategy to implement and take back to executive management and members of the board, so that company or that money-making machine can continue to bring in a profit and a return on the investment. Let's talk about 12 key HR functions that are essential to the chemistry of any corporate entity. If we start from the top, it's not only administrative responsibilities of passing paper, it's planning, it's recruitment and selection, it's performance management, it's learning and development, it's career planning, it's functionality evaluation, developing new functions, developing new job roles, doing the necessary to put on paper what the job role will do and how productive it will be and how many people will need to fill that job role. Function evaluation is a very complex process, okay? Evaluating jobs, evaluating salary surveys, advising the board on the correct level of salary and remuneration, having the right rewards in place that motivate people and meet the rewards offered by competition, meeting industrial relation laws, and implementing an employee participation and communication channel, which is employee relations, as well as having the right health and safety and well-being practices for the company's most important asset, its people, are all functions of HR. HR is a people-centric department. Everything it does should be focused on the people, and they should be the ones that communicate the people's requirements, the people's perceptions, and the people's needs in order to be productive back to executive management. We all know what the functions are, but let me go into a bit more detail. What are the functions in HR? Why are these functions essential in HR? They are essential. Talent acquisition, talent identification, recruitment and selection. You can go and employ anybody. I mean, come on, let's think of it. Most companies don't even know what talent acquisition recruitment is. They say, I need to employ someone. And what they do is they focus on the salary, and usually the salary is not even the correct salary because they go by what they think should be the correct salary. 75% of businesses today have forgotten the need to do salary evaluation, job analysis before producing a job description. And without a job description and the correct salary, you will never identify right talent. All you're doing is employing somebody that you can afford. That is not the road to success. The road to success is by having the right talent, attracting the right talent, qualified candidates that meet the job requirements and fit the company culture to actually fill a position within that organization. Employee onboarding. HR needs to facilitate the onboarding process for new employees. They need to make sure that each new employee has a mentor, has a guide, and they need to make sure that they conduct a proper corporate orientation, welcoming people into the company and making sure they instill the company vision, company mission, and company objectives. Again, mission, vision, and objectives. They should become like words of the gospel. Every employee should know them back to front, upside down, inside out. They should be able to recite them, because if they aren't able to do that, they don't have the same perception of the business or what the business goals are, and therefore they will fail. They will not serve to bring profitability or productivity to the business entity. The other element is what we call training and development. And many corporates, many entrepreneurs take this as a shortcut. They say, why should I waste time on training and development? I only have $100,000 to start the business. Yes, absolutely. So you go out to hire cheap labor, you're not paying the right salary, therefore you're not getting the best talent. Then when you recruit second-class talent, you refuse to train them, you refuse to develop them. So what happens? Eventually they walk. That means you have a higher turnover rate, okay? You have a high turnover rate. You have to constantly recruit people, and you will never be able to be at maximum productivity because every day of the week, somebody's leaving you. Your retention rate will be low, and eventually people will start talking about your brand. Don't work for that brand because they don't train you. They treat you like just an object. There is no understanding of people centricity. They don't care about people. They don't care about rewarding people. This is all part of employee onboarding, instilling the right thinking and the right mindset by delivering the mission, the vision, and the objectives, and then by following through with ongoing training and development. We say in the corporate world, train people well enough so they can leave. Treat them well enough so they don't want to leave. Richard Branson started Virgin Music. He started Virgin Mobile. He started Virgin Atlantic Airways. And he's now working on Virgin Space. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not only Richard Branson that understands how important it is to train and develop a company's most important and most valuable asset. Steve Jobs preached the same philosophy. Okay, Jeff Bezos at Amazon continues to preach the same philosophy. Your people are your number one asset. Train your people well enough and give them the skills. But if you fail to treat them well enough and compensate them right, everything you taught them will go to waste, because there's a human nature. Human nature says everybody wants the best financially. Why should I work for $1,000 a month, okay, when I can go somewhere else and earn $1,500 a month, knowing well that my efforts resulted in the company increasing its profitability by 20 to 25% in the last financial year? All of this is common sense. Every person in the workforce has a social mentality, a psychological driver that says, I want to earn as much as I can because I work hard. So it doesn't matter how well you train them, but if you don't reward them and treat them well enough, ladies and gentlemen, they will run and your business will fail. Career planning. Career planning. Career planning is very much an important element or ingredient of HR. Career planning is responsible for making sure that you develop leaders. You take them from supervisors, slave drivers, backyard managers, and turn them into not only managers, but managers and leaders in the bigger picture. It ensures that you actually maintain appropriate manpower levels. You make sure you plan ahead to recruit, promote, or develop enough people to be promoted. You make sure you develop a belief in effectiveness, efficiency, and growth. Because if you don't believe in effectiveness and efficiency of the people that work for you, and a continued mentality to grow your people so they can take on and endure more responsibility, then you're eventually going to lead a road of failure and bankruptcy. You cannot have people doing the same job for 3 or 4 years without any advancement or reward. It is known that in most countries, every year, there should be a basic increment in accordance with the cost of living. But that increment might only be between 3 and 5%. And let me tell you, if you only give your people that required increment by law, or the increment that's dictated by the Ministry of Manpower or the Ministry of Labor in your country, then most people will walk. You need to recognize people for their efforts, not only give them patents by saying, oh, the government said that cost of living has increased by 5%, so your only reward is an extra 5% of your annual salary. That will not motivate reward. Health and safety. HR is deeply embedded in the chemistry of ensuring that people's health and safety is observed at work. Remember, if one of your workers injures themselves involved in an accident and something happens to one of your workers, at the end of the day, if your worker dies or is crippled, you as a company are responsible. And if you try to avoid that responsibility, you'll end up in court or the government will close you down. So without health and safety being enforced across the organization by HR, there will be errors. People will die because a lot of supervisors and managers will always say to you, I didn't know, I was too busy being part of operations. HR is the key stakeholder in ensuring health and safety throughout the organization. Performance management. If we don't have a system to evaluate how profitable or how productive, therefore profitable a department is, if we can't evaluate how many people we need on the factory floor to be able to meet production requirements, we will suffer as a business entity because we will not be able to produce enough goods in order to supply our customers on time, and our customers will look elsewhere. Every part of the business needs to have a performance management system with goals which are aligned. That means your managing director sets goals for every single department, and those goals are cascaded down from the head of production or chief operating officer all the way down to every single employee on the factory floor. Even the girl that sits at reception should have KPIs so she feels like she's an important part of that family, which is that corporate entity. KPIs are not just goals that you set for one person. KPIs, performance management, is something that should be driven from the top down all the way through the company. So if you have a factory manager, his goals should be cascaded down from your chief operating officer to your factory manager, cascaded down to all the supervisors, and then to each of the workers on the factory production line. That's what we call HR management. For that, you need HR because they have to make sure that those KPIs are aligned with industry. HR needs to conduct and design and administer compensation programs which will meet the needs of people. You should all know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know that Maslow says psychological needs and basic needs are imperative. Everybody needs shelter. Everybody needs water. Everybody needs food. Everybody needs money in order to satisfy those basic needs. Maslow put down the hierarchy of needs for a reason. Maslow's hierarchy of needs to be something that every HR manager reminds his HR team of on a regular basis, because the design and administration of compensation and salary structure and incentives is not something that you leave up to your CEO that may be good at running a business in an industry but knows nothing about the cost of talent in today's market. The functions or the elements of any package, the functions and the benefits that should be given to every specific function in the organization should be based on, one, job evaluation and making sure that the job description for that job covers the functions of that job. Number two, it should be based on a salary evaluation system like Hayes or Mercer, which evaluates the 5 core requirements of any job. What are they? Financial responsibility, growth responsibility, knowledge, and the number of people that job leads. These are core elements that decide how much compensation somebody should be paid for a particular role. All right. So every salary in your organization needs to be based on job evaluation, job analysis, job description, salary survey, and being at the right level of competitive compensation to ensure that you not only attract the right talent, but you also retain the right talent. No company gets a free ride. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to start a business, no matter what country you're in, and you say, I want to pay my people my number one asset, pennies, patents, and I want to make as much profit as I can, you will fail. You will fail. That's a promise. You can make money. You can be profitable. But being profitable means recognizing the people who are driving your success. The people who every day show up at the factory at 5 a.m. in the morning or show up at the retail store at 5 a.m. in the morning to open and prepare breakfast for the thousands of people who are going to come to your restaurant or to your nasi padang store or to your retail shop. These people are the ones that drive the machine that makes profit for you to be rich as an entrepreneur. If you don't recognize them, then you will fail. They will go on and find another job, but you will lose everything you invested to start that business. And that happens every day. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think for 1 second that every entrepreneur is successful, then you need to go back and think again. Out of the 100 or 200 entrepreneurs that go into business every day, less than 5% will be in business at the end of a 3-year period. Most entrepreneurs fail within 3 years. Let's look at the elements of total reward and how important total reward is into satisfying people and rewarding them correctly. Number one, you need to make sure you have enough money to develop employees, continually develop them and motivate them to stay working for your organization so they feel a sense of security. Number two, you need to make sure that you're paying the right base pay. You need to make sure that you're providing them the right recognition by the correct salary for the correct job and what it involves. You need to make sure that you provide them a sense of well-being, health and safety at work. You make sure you provide them a sense of work balance, work and family life balance. Meaningful work. Treat everybody as somebody who's important to your organization, even the auntie that makes coffee. Make her feel a sense of importance and belonging Make sure she understands what the role and how important she is to making the clock tick. Make sure that you offer the right variable pay based on performance. Make sure that you offer the right benefits, but overall, make sure you have a credible leadership. A credible leadership can only be defined as a leadership that understands all elements, not only the technical elements, but the most important element, people centricity. And they can only understand that by having the correct people running the HR function. I'm not talking about a young lady that graduated from school and doing her first job in HR as a HR clerk for the right time. Yes, she can be a part of the HR team, but you need a HR professional, somebody who's done HR and has a people-centric mindset for at least 5 to 10 years to manage any HR department in any organization that employs 100, 200 or more people. If you only run a small business with 20 people, fine. You probably can rely on a HR clerk with 1 or 2 years experience, and she can manage that. But trust me, you need to make sure they follow the right steps and have the right basic operating or SOP in place, and they measure and fit all of the 8 requirements of total reward, and they're able to service all the 12 functions of human resources. Okay, let's talk about human resource functions in today's corporate world. They are policy development and compliance. You need to make sure that before you open the business, before you as an entrepreneur going and asking investors to invest in you, you can show them a set of HR policies and procedures that not only will attract talent and retain it, but actually comply with local employment laws and regulations. You need to make sure that you're able to focus on engaging your employees and motivating them so they keep becoming more productive. You need to make sure that you provide them an open line of communication between their supervisor and HR, between the employee and HR directly. HR today has to have technology. It has to have a human resource management system and a human resource information system, or a human resource payroll system where people can log in through their app and apply for leave, find out about their salaries, communicate with HR and express their grievances. HR functions need to be streamlined. They can't all be in one bucket. You can't have your managing director secretary who does accounts also manage the company's most valuable asset, its people. It doesn't work. HR strategy and planning is an important ingredient of any business plan. It's a core element of any business strategy. And if it's not embedded into the way the business strategy is written, if it's not embedded into the company's financial projections and future, then the company will fail. Let's look at these again. Key areas in which every entrepreneur needs to focus and understand about the importance of HR in any corporate structure or in the road of entrepreneurship, in the trip or journey of an entrepreneur becoming a millionaire, are talent acquisition, training and development, performance management, organizational culture, change management, succession planning, employee engagement, and a very healthy understanding of industrial relations. If you want to be an entrepreneur and you've got a master's degree in business and economics, and you want to open your own business, and you do not understand these 8 key ingredients or key ingredients of the nasi padang that you're going to run every day or cook every day, then you will fail. You might as well not go into business. If you don't know them, you need to make sure you employ somebody who knows them, because without them, your investment will run out and you will end up on the bankruptcy queue. That is a fact of life. That is what happens to entrepreneurs every day. That's what happens. The SMEs who think they can do it themselves and think that employing a HR professional is a waste of money. They say, I don't need organizational culture. They come to the factory, they do the work, they go home. If they don't like it, I'll fire them. Yeah, you can keep firing them. And one day you'll go out of business because your company will not be able to meet production requirements and not be able to deliver on time. And your clients will walk away. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, effective HR functions can basically bring results. They drive the outcome of your business, ladies and gentlemen. They drive positive results. Not only do they drive positive people results, but they drive productivity, which in turn drives profitability. Employee engagement and motivational functions are the core responsibility of the owner or the board, which are entrusted to the HR department. Organizational commitment must be on retaining its people and its skilled workforce. And you might not hire people who are skilled. You might decide to hire cheap labor, but then you take on the responsibility of taking them from cheap, unskilled labor to skilled labor. Ladies and gentlemen, productivity, financial performance, customer satisfaction, and a growth in market share can only come from having an effective HR function, which will result in a successful outcome for any entrepreneur and bring a return on his or her investment. One moment, please. All right. So basically, it's a very simple process. Human resources are overall responsible, ladies and gentlemen, for making sure that the most important asset, the number one asset, actually is functioning. The building will still be there tomorrow. But the only difference is if you don't have the right human asset in that building, then you don't need the building. I hope that what I've done here today is instill 3 basic words. HR is a critical function in corporate entrepreneurship. HR is a critical function in the success of any corporate entity. Let's look at that. Let's look at McDonald's. McDonald's was founded by Raymond Albert Kroc, who used to sell paper cup milkshake machines when he used to drive around in his old FJ Ford as a door-to-door salesman, until one day he reached the McDonald's brothers in their little white box selling 10-cent hamburgers, 15-cent cheeseburgers, and turned that into an empire, which is today called McDonald's, the Golden Arches. He was focused on development. He believed that employing people and teaching them how to cook hamburgers was the core element of his business. And McDonald's, the Golden Arches till today, is only successful because they're able to employ school kids. They're able to employ anyone, teach them how to cook a quality hamburger and deliver a quality fast food meal to their customers. Starbucks has developed a philosophy that they employ people and not only tell them to make coffee and sell it. They employ people to learn what coffee is all about. They become coffee baristas. They become coffee partners. Starbucks doesn't call you a worker or an employee. They call you a partner. McDonald's doesn't call you a cleaner or kitchen worker. They call you a team member, a crew member. All of this is focused about building ongoing spirit of continued productivity. It's all about motivating the people who work for you to stay with you. It's about building an understanding of the company's mission and vision. Ladies and gentlemen, HR functions play a very critical role in corporate entrepreneurship because they drive performance, They're responsible for managing and motivating employees. They're responsible for creating systems and processes to measure and improve performance. And most of all, they provide the people who work for you a sense of security through career development opportunities. I would be happy to answer any questions. I would welcome questions. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity today. Would anybody like to ask any questions? Anybody? I'm here.
Okay, for the all participants, if you have any question, please raise hand.
Please don't be shy, guys. I'd love to talk to you.
To all participants, so in the material from Mr. Willy Roda, so they still confused. I think to give you the question because it's really very detailed for your material.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Prof. You know, when we talk about human resources is a science, Professor, as you know, and it's all about people. And I think the key message that we have to deliver to our attendees today is that no matter what they choose to do after they've graduated and take the skills they've earned through their MBA, they need to put them in practice. And when you take the knowledge and the disciplines that your professors have left you with, you now have to make sure that they're functional. And people centricity, your number one asset, is going to be your critical road to success. And I think Professor would agree with me that without the people to drive your business, you don't have a business. It's like the great professors who have put you through to get your MBA. Without them, you wouldn't have an MBA. It's all about the people. Professor, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for having me here as a speaker, and I look forward to coming back very soon in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, Wally, can I ask you one question?
Yes, go ahead, Prof.
Yeah, okay. My name is Neti. I'm from UMT, Malaysia, Terengganu.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
yes, I'll try to sum up what you presented, that you say the crucial aspect of managing people is knowledgeable of HR management to know how and why the people inside the organization so develop. So I have the question, how do organizations or companies understand this management, which is often overlooked because it's expensive? And the second one, how to make employees more creative? Is that a leader's role of
No, that's a very simple question. I'll answer that in 2 words. If a company doesn't have people centricity in its chemistry, then the company cannot run a business. So basically, if you try to set up a business and you don't have the chemistry, the salt and pepper of understanding people, then you shouldn't be in business because you will end up in the bankruptcy queues. So let me now go into detail, ma'am. Human resources is a science. It's not something that your average clerk or secretary can do. So human resources have some basic key functions. Let's talk about the first one, managing, HR management. You can't let somebody who has no study of HR manage your HR function. If you're an entrepreneur with 10 employees, then yes, you can try to do it yourself, but you need advice from somebody, a consultant, or somebody who has HR to advise you, maybe as an outsourced advisor, and to write your HR policy for you and set up a standard operating process or a procedure for you to follow. So managing human resource or managing your most important asset, your people, is a must. If you can't manage your people or you don't have the right person to manage your people, your investment will be flushed down the toilet. So if I'm setting up a business entity, ma'am, and I'm going to invest $1 million or $200,000, then the first person I need to get is my strategic partner, who is the people expert. So the first person I need to recruit is I need to go and find someone who understands HR. I need to say to that person, this is my business strategy. This is what I want to do. Now tell me, from a HR strategy, what do I need to pay? how am I going to find the right talent, and how am I going to manage that talent? Now, if you cannot even afford to get someone to manage your most important asset, your people, then why are you starting a business? So part of your business strategy, ma'am, at the very first function is to find the right talent to manage your most important asset. You're the entrepreneur. You want to start a factory, you want to make nasi padang and put it in convenience stores. So before you can do that, you need to sit down with a HR expert and tell him, I want to set up a factory. These are the machines I have. These are the jobs that I need to fill. Can you actually do job analysis, assess the jobs, tell me what each job should be, how much do I need to pay it, what are the skills I require, do I need to recruit skilled or unskilled labor, and what is the market recommended salary? All of that should be developed and put into the business strategy before you open a business. So you need to actually pay attention to your number one asset as part of developing a business strategy. Let's go on beyond that. How do you motivate your employees? Or, Prof, ma'am, how do you motivate them to stay with you? I think that was your question. Am I correct? How do you retain them? Because if you don't have retention, your business will face roadblocks. And the higher the turnover, the lower the retention, means that you're spending more money recruiting, you're putting a delay in your production. And you might say, no, because I have other staff, they can work harder. Well, yeah, they can work harder. But if they keep having to do another person's job because you don't employ the right talent, eventually they will lose their motivation and walk. You will lose them, okay? Because you're taking advantage of them. People should only be expected to do or be as productive as they can. You cannot take advantage of them by expecting them to do the job of 3. You can expect them to do their job and work overtime, fine. But you can't say you have to work 3 times harder, otherwise I'll fire you because I can't afford to employ someone else. That doesn't work. And that comes to people centricity. It goes back to instilling the company's vision and mission from the day you recruit them. Whether you recruit an unskilled cleaner for the factory, you recruit a waitress for the restaurant, you recruit a secretary to do accounts. You need to instill the vision and the mission of the company. What are our values? What do we set ourselves as our values in managing our people? What do we set down as the core requirements to work for us? What commitment do we make to you? Will you be a secretary or a clerk all your life? Or do we promise you career development? Will we eventually to train you how to do accounts payable, accounts receivable? Will we promise you a sense of career development? And let me leave you with an acronym, ma'am, that I published 10 years ago, or 2 acronyms, ma'am, which have been published and documented. And the first acronym is called TRUE. I spell that T for Tango, R for Romeo, U for understanding, and E for experience. And let me tell you what TRUE means. You need to ask yourself, has this employee been trained at their job? Number 2, do they understand the role that they've been employed to do? Do they have the right role perception? Number 3, do they have the right technical understanding of how to do the job without causing themselves an electric shock or getting their finger chopped off? Do they have technical competency, understanding of technical competency? And the last one, ma'am, is do they have a successful experience in doing that job? Let me give you an example, ma'am. You go into a restaurant, you employ a chef, and this chef is tasked with cooking South Indian curry. And for 6 years, he's cooked fish head curry, and your restaurant has had a great reputation. Suddenly, he stops producing curry, you get bad reviews, all right? So you need to ask yourself, why am I getting bad reviews? Is it because his curry, the taste has changed? Is it because he doesn't have the right equipment? Is it because he's not motivated? Because he brought in thousands of customers, but I'm still paying him the basic salary I paid him on the day I employed him, all right? So you need to evaluate TRUE first. Once you've evaluated TRUE, you need to evaluate the second element, which comes to motivating your employees. And I call that WISC. Number 1 is W for willingness. Number 2 is I for incentive and intention. Number 3 is S for sense of security. And number 4 is confidence. Now, if you've trained them, they understand their role, okay? They understand their role, they have technical competence and have continuously done a good job and got experience, okay? You then have to ask, all right, now, are they still willing to come to work? Are they motivated to come to work? If the answer is no, you're not rewarding them properly. Number 2, do they feel a reason? Do they understand why they need to have the right initiative, why they need to have the right sense of belonging? Okay, we said willingness, initiative. Initiative, lady, or intention or interest, okay, is for them to understand the mission and the vision of the company. If they understand the mission and the vision, then there will be intention, there will be interest, there will be incentive, because they respect the company, they love the company, they want to come back and work for it, okay? The other one is a sense of security now. So I've been working for you for 5 years, but for 5 years, you've been paying me the same salary. And if it wasn't for me being a chef that's produced the best curry in Batam and people talk about my curry, your business would not have been profitable. But you've shown no interest in securing my future. You put all the money in your pocket. You live in a big mansion, you have 5 cars, but I'm still a poor cook that earns only 2,000 rupees a month. All right, so how do I have a sense of security? Where's my sense of security? I don't have it. So as soon as somebody offers me more money, I'm going to run. Am I right or not? And the last part is a level of confidence. If I come to work every day and you want me to feel confident and give more to the business, you have to make sure that I feel a sense of security. I have to feel that my job is secure, that I am rewarded correctly, that the company cares about me, their intentions are correct, and I have the right incentive. And if you take the willingness and the incentive, okay, and put those together, basically you will increase your retention rate, lower your turnover rate. I hope I've answered your question. Have I answered your question or have I missed anything? Go ahead.
No, thank you. It's very clear and valuable for me, beyond my expectation, your answer. Thank you very much for your answer, Mr. Wali.
Thank you, Neti. It's my pleasure. Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to ask me any questions? Anybody else?
Okay, I think now we don't have any question. Thank you, Mr. Willy Roda, for your sharing knowledge to us. Really appreciate you on the next event. Give applause to him.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye. God bless you all. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Well, all right. Now we return back to Prof. Abi. Prof. Abi, are you still there? Yeah. Okay. Okay, Prof. You can continue right now.
Okay. Can you see my slide here?
Not yet.
Not yet. I cannot share a slide. I don't know.
So we can share your material from here. Is it okay for you?
Yeah.
So we open your material from here. Is it okay for you?
Excuse me, sir.
Share screen from here.
Hello. Can you see my slide here?
Not yet, bro. The slide from here, is it okay? Please turn off your slide, bro. We
Oh,
open.
yeah.
Okay. We open from here.
Okay. You open from, but make sure you share the latest one here.
Hello, bro. Can you see our share screen?
But you can see your slide here. But you can see. Can you show a slide from your side? Can you show the slide from? Because I cannot show you my slide here. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. Can continue.
Okay. I think. Okay. Can we start now? Okay. I think we already learned the type of human resource from the first participant just now. So maybe I just go to what actually we need to understand, what actually that we need, how important the human resource for entrepreneurship development. So next slide, please. Conceptual, no. To the previous now. The previous, okay. Actually, we understand what actually wine of
Hello, bro. Hello. Are you hearing me? Your signal is unstable. Bro, unmute first.
Okay. Before we go further, that we we want to know, we know about the corporate entrepreneurship and how the important role of entrepreneurship in the important role of human resource in corporate entrepreneurship development. We need to clearly understand what actually the concept of entrepreneurship, and then what we can differentiate between entrepreneurship and corporate entrepreneurship, and even what we can differentiate between entrepreneurship and the common traders or common businessmen. Yeah. So here that we can define entrepreneurship related to those individuals who run the business which highly motivated, innovative, and visionary. Yeah. So entrepreneurs, they must have a good motivation. It's not for their it's not for their self in a context of entrepreneurial personality, but they should know on how give motivate to their staff, to their employees. Yeah, they need to know how to motivate to the staff and maybe for their employees in the organization. Even entrepreneurs also need to know highly motivation to create innovative. Innovation is not just for the product, to create the new product, but innovation also relate to we transform the organization. We increase the level of human performance in our organization. We innovate the organization. So human resource innovation also play important role to create the to transform to the business performance. And then entrepreneurs also must have a good visionary. Visionary is not for their and the organization, but they need to create or to transform the understanding among their workers. So that's what we call the entrepreneurs. But for those who are not really practice the concept of motivation, innovation, and visionary, we cannot consider as an entrepreneur. That we just call is that the common traders, or maybe the common businessman. Yeah. So nowadays, even the word of entrepreneurs, consider as individual.
I can hear you.
And even, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Can continue.
Okay. And even they can solve the problem among the consumer. That's the entrepreneur. Nowadays, the word or the term of entrepreneurship is not discussed in the context business among the businessmen only. However, it also considered to corporate leaders who are involved in the organization. What it means here, corporate leaders is not just the corporate who are own the business, but maybe they are manager. Maybe they are as a what we call as a managing director, or any involved corporate leader in the top level in organization or middle level in the organization. That's what we call is the corporate leader. Yeah. So that's relate to the corporate entrepreneurs. Corporate entrepreneurs is they are the corporate leader. They are lead the organization. They are lead the company, but the company is not from their own company. But they also are the workers. They are also as a manager, but they manage the company is like their own. That's what we call as a corporate leader. Like CEOs, Chief Executive Officer, they are not own the business, but they run and organize the business is like that. That's what we call as a entrepreneurs. Nowadays, most of the in the industry, the entrepreneurs, they tidak ada upaya, they are not ability to manage all the function in the corporate, but they are willing to what we call is dia sanggup menggajikan kepada to the other people, and then the other people willing to take sebagai dia sanggup mengambil sebagai seorang pekerja dan dia menguruskan, and then they able to manage the company. That's what we call the corporate leader. They are not own the business, but they manage the company is like their own. So here, I know you already know about the concept of human resource, how human resource become important today in the organization, even in the industry today. What you can think about the importance of human resource. So additionally here, we can say that most of industrial practitioner or academician like us was discuss the entrepreneurial value in a context of motivation, passion, vision, and confidence in the context of corporate entrepreneurship. Some academician or some the journalists they are not called the corporate entrepreneurship, but what they call is the intrapreneurship. Yeah. But in the industry that they call is the corporate entrepreneurship. So that's what we can differentiate between entrepreneurship and corporate entrepreneurship. Okay. So next slide, please. Yeah. So before we go further, in the context of corporate entrepreneurs, yeah. So we need to understand the concept of entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs, and what we can differentiate with the common traders or common businessmen. So we can see here, entrepreneurs, number one is also as a trader. Also we consider as a trader, but the trader are not necessarily entrepreneur. Not all the trader that we consider as an entrepreneur. Because why? Because some traders, they are not really motivated to manage their business. They are not involved in the innovation in their business. Even they're not really creative to design the vision and mission for their organization. That's why we cannot consider as an entrepreneur. They are just the common trader. Most of the micro or small business, the trader, they are not really involved as entrepreneurship. They are just treat the business only. That's even in some country that's become problem. How to create the trader to become entrepreneurs? Okay, so that's how we can see how the human resource development play important role. Yeah, to think about that. Once they become entrepreneur, how human resource become important in their organization, how they create the job division in their organization. Okay, and then in term number 2 is self-motivation with innovation in business. Entrepreneur is very high. And then, however, traders only involved in daily business matter. What we can differentiate between the corporate sector and the what we call is the small or micro or medium business matter. What we can differentiate, some small or SME, maybe some of the small medium enterprise that we consider as entrepreneurs, but some that we cannot consider as a entrepreneur. Yeah. So number 3 is entrepreneurs emphasize on success based on business plan. They are well planned in their business. So manager or maybe the what we call is the maybe CEO or the top level in the organization, they are know to plan their organization. Even they well planned what the step that will do it after this. And then trader just trying to increase profit in business daily. Number 4, follow any changing issues in business environment. They are study the current issue. What are the next issue that affect to their business? That's the entrepreneurs. The traders is only focus the current or daily business issue. Think to strategize the business competitive. And then traders only just to think about just to solve the problem. Entrepreneur profit for long-term business. And then traders only profit for short-term business. So here, based on that, what you think about the concept of corporate entrepreneurs? The traders, we are not considered as a corporate entrepreneur, but most of the entrepreneurs who manage the company, yeah, with the what we call is the item in entrepreneurship that we consider as a corporate entrepreneurs. Okay. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. So here, that's okay. Okay, next. So the concept, okay, we clear the concept of entrepreneurs and trader just now. So what actually the concept of corporate entrepreneurs? And then I know you study already about the human resource, how the corporate entrepreneur, how the human resource play important role to the corporate entrepreneurs. Okay, so corporate CE stands for the corporate entrepreneur, or knowing as entrepreneurship, is a leader, is a corporate leader. Yeah, intrapreneurship is a corporate leader. But dia tidak semestinya, they are not own the business, but they are leader to lead the business. Leader to strategize the organization through creating new opportunity and value for the company that he worked through innovative and entrepreneurial thinking. All the item, all the function is like the entrepreneur. Even they plan, they do it for the organization. It's like they own the business, but they just working in the organization only. Okay, so corporate entrepreneurship also is the process by which teams in the organization, which an established company conceive, foster, launch, and manage new business. Yeah, manage a new business that is distinct from the parent company. What it means here, maybe, let's say, like I said before, Toyota from Japan, they have that we consider as the parent company from the Japan. From the Japan, and then they want to create, or they want to licensing local company, maybe in Indonesia, to run the organization. So the what we call is the parent company are not managed. What we call the local from in the Indonesia, but they license to the local company to run the Toyota in Indonesia. Yes, yeah. So here, that's what we call the company in Indonesia. Maybe they're merging, or maybe they create the partnership with the Toyota or not. Maybe they just run the company Toyota that licensing from the Japan here, from the parent company in the Japan, but they manage the company. So the manager, or maybe the CEO that manage the local company in Indonesia, that's what we call as a corporate entrepreneurs. That's what we call as a corporate entrepreneur. They are not own the business owned by the Toyota parent company in Japan, but they in the Indonesia they are just manage the company here. But what we are going to discuss here today is how the concept of human resource play important role in a context of corporate entrepreneurship. Or maybe how human resource play in how the corporate leader need to know to manage the human resource in the what we call the merging company in Indonesia. So they are not just similarly create their own vision, but they need to any vision or mission that they want to plan, the one plan must be based on what in the Japan. So they only create the what maybe the what we call is the planning, but must be based on the vision from the Japan. That's the corporate entrepreneurship. So any planning for the human resource in the Indonesia, let's say, must be that already planned in the Japan. So here, that's what we call is the corporate entrepreneurship. So I know you are already study about the entrepreneurship. How you relate the concept of entrepreneurship here to the corporate the concept of human resource with the corporate entrepreneurship. Because why? Even my student, I also asked my student also think about, because nowadays most country, even in industry, in the corporate sector, they run the business in a context of corporate entrepreneur. Because global, they do it the multinational company. They create the multinational company. They do it the merging through the multinational company, through the corporate, what we call is corporate, they try to create the licensing company to the other country. So corporate entrepreneurship become important. Okay, so here, as a corporate leader or corporate entrepreneur, or maybe the entrepreneur, what to manage the venture is like their own business, as I said. Nowadays, the concept of corporate entrepreneurship has been practiced among CEO. Even let's say like as you discussed just we discussed just now with the previous speaker, like the McDonald's managed by the owned by the own McDonald's is the from the outside from the America. So here in Malaysia, they give to the Malaysia to manage the what we call McDonald's in Malaysia. So the manager, or maybe the manager in McDonald's in Malaysia, that what we call is the corporate entrepreneur. That's the what we call is have been practiced among CEO, managing director, manager, etc. Yeah. So how important the entrepreneur, the human resource to develop the corporate entrepreneurship. Okay. Okay. Next. So I try to develop the table here or figure here. We can see. Yeah. So this table we can divide into two things here. Because is first one is we emphasize about the entrepreneurial mindset. Yeah, entrepreneurial mindset. And then the other one is the corporate strategy. Yeah, in the organization. Yeah. So entrepreneurial mindset, we can see maybe lower entrepreneurial mindset or maybe higher entrepreneurial mindset. So, and then for the strategy general and organization, so maybe they own the company. They own the company, or maybe they are not own the company, just manage the company. for those who are higher entrepreneurial mindset and own the company that we consider as a entrepreneur. But for those who are higher in entrepreneurial mindset, but they are not own the business, the company just manage the company that we consider as a corporate entrepreneurs. Or maybe we call intrapreneur. That's different.
Excuse me, Prof. Could you summarize your material? Could you summarize the material because your time is another 5 minutes?
Okay. Next.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next. Okay, next. I think next slide again. I think we go. Okay. Human resource become essential. Okay, I think we already discussed before. Okay, we next. Next, because 5 minutes. Okay, I think nowadays. Okay, I think nowadays. Okay, next I want just discuss about in Malaysia. Okay, next please. Okay. Next again. Okay, privatization is not policy in Malaysia. Malaysia actually they run the what we call is the policy. What we call is the privatization policy here. Yeah. Okay. Next, what actually the privatization policy? Next, please. Okay. Privatization is the process of transferring ownership of business from the public sector government to the private sector. Can you thinking about how important how important the human resource development, because they're transferring ownership from business, from public sector, from the government. What are the strategy in a human resource from the government or Ministry of Human Resource to the private sector? What are the plan for the human resource need to do in terms of privatization policy here? So Malaysia in March 1983, Malaysia has intent or launched the privatization policy for the purpose to relieve the financial and administrative burden in the government, as well as to improve efficiency and productivity here. Yeah. So Malaysia tried to privatize some of the government agency. They go for the industry. They try to privatize to the private company. Okay, next, please. Next, please. We can see the purpose of no. Back to okay. we can see, the purpose of Malaysian government launched the privatization, yeah, because okay, you can see here in my table here, ownership and the objective, yeah. Ownership here is private and public. Private is the company who own the business, and then public is the government. Yeah, so from the ownership from the government go to the private because of privatization. And then what's the objective? Objective, maybe some of the objective for the social, for the social purpose, and maybe for the commercial purpose. So here you can see privatization. Some of the company agency in government from the public, from the government, ownership by the government, and then for the social purpose, for the public, for the social purpose. So what we call is social administration. But today, they try go to the go for the privatization. Yeah, so they sell the share. Yeah, so you can see ownership of for the private sector, for the private, but some the company is some agency that they privatize it for the commercial purpose. It's like, so they do it for the public they do it for the public So what I mean here, I try to discuss here how that we can see the importance of entrepreneurship, the importance of human resource, or maybe human resource manager, to think about the agency the government agency privatization, private or public enterprise, or maybe to the private industry. In Malaysia, the privatization is like the Malaysian Airline System, MAS, Petroleum National, Petronas. Yeah. Also, what we call is Tenaga Nasional for the electricity. That's that's the company from the public sector. They go to the private, they go to the privatization through the privatization policy. Okay. Okay. Next. 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 Okay. Next, please. Okay. So I show you because of what the government go for the privatization here, because they want to create the multinational company from the local or from the government before go to the with competitive with the other global competitors today. They need to go for the they need to compete with the other global competitive today. Kalau tidak, mereka akan ketinggalan. So privatization memainkan peranan. But the problem is how important human resource. Once you want to involve the privatization policy, what actually the the plan that you need to do in human resource development in the privatization. So here we are not just thinking in the context of theory, but how we practice about that in the current issue today. That's actually I want to discuss here. How important the human resource in the corporate entrepreneurship development here. That's why that's actually the discussion about the role. What is the role or efficiency of human resource for those companies go for the corporate entrepreneurship development today. So that's all from me because in terms of time. Okay, I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Abi, for your sharing knowledge to us. Really appreciate. And now, all participants, do you have any question? If no question, thank you very much, Prof. Abi. See you on the next event. Give applause to Prof. Abi.
Zoom meeting.
Ini.
Video saya mati kan? Mati nampak kita begini. Hah?
Okay, for the next speaker is Dr. Henry. Please come and join with us. Yes. Hello, Prof. Henry.
How are you?
I'm fine.
This is for the last speaker.
Yes, correct. I need to remind you that we have the limited time, so please make quick slide the presentation with participants. Okay, well,
I already presented, but you click for the percentage now.
sorry, because now we have the limited time.
Yes, okay, so understood. So the first, before I want to continue with my explanation for the subject now, I would like to thank to all of students from Terengganu, Malaysia University for the Magister of Management from International School. Hello, how are you? Okay, so I hearing from your lecture from Prof. Khatijah, from Ibu Neti, from Indonesia. Ibu Neti, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you too?
Yeah, Ibu Neti in here now is Indonesia University from Batam. Do you know from Batam?
Yes, I know.
Do you know Batam?
Yes, I've been there before.
Yeah, where you come from?
Where I come from Indonesia too. I live in Bekasi.
Oh, Bekasi Jakarta. Some like the Mana is the Bekasi also. So what about them from Sudan? Who is the Sudan? Sudan? From your country from Sudan?
Can you hear me? I'm Isra from Sudan.
What's your name?
Isra.
Isra. How are you, Isra?
Alhamdulillah.
So very, very far, from Sudan to Malay, you come to study, Sure, I accept for you.
Yeah. I get
Yeah.
it.
How long your flight from Sudan to Malaysia?
like 5 years since I came
Well,
here. Mm.
5 hours.
5 years since I came here.
Yeah. So from the flight, when you go from Sudan to Malaysia, how long? The flight.
Sorry. Can you say it again?
How long the flight from Sudan to Malaysia?
It's like 2 days. It's very far.
2 days.
Today from where?
Yeah. From Sudan to Malaysia.
How? Very far, you know this.
Because the connection is too long. Connection sometimes maybe 9 to 6 hour. But to arrive in Malaysia, it's about first from Sudan to Doha is 4 hours. Then we stay connection in Doha about 6 hours. Then from Doha to Malaysia like 9 hours. So it's not easy. It's not easy traveling. Yeah.
It's good, you know. So I thought also the result for you also very, very excellent for you.
Where is what?
Yeah, I hope also you can go study with good work in there.
The connection is very bad. Sometimes I hear you, sometimes I cannot hear you.
Okay. So how about the from India? Thank you from Sudan. So I want to ask him for the Indian. So have the answers for 3 from India. Puja Koran from India.
Hello, Mr. Puja Kauran from India. Are you still there?
No. So what about the from Malay? Who's the one more?
From Pakistan, Muhammad Hamad.
Yes, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
I am Muhammad Hamad from Pakistan.
I see. It's very far also from Pakistan to Malaysia. So how long for the flight from Pakistan to Malaysia?
It's around 7 hours flight. 7 hours.
7 hours. And therefore your country from direct Malaysia or you should be the transfer first?
No. There is a direct flight.
Direct
Pakistan
flight.
International. Yeah.
Yeah, you direct for Kuala Lumpur.
Yes, Kuala Lumpur, and then again 7 to 8 hours to Terengganu.
Nice. So enjoy your flight also. Enjoy your study also.
Yeah.
Okay, right. As the so I should be the quickly for the our webinar international now. So I need for the first, this is subject for the role of human resources in the development of corporate entrepreneurship. Yeah, this is almost the same that our before the keynote speaker from Wali Roda also, and also from Professor Dr. Adi also, that they're almost the same. So we continue. So what is managing of human resources? That it means the human resources is for HR. So is an integrated capability of thinking power, physical strength, and having work performance each individual. Human resource management is a process of dealing with various problems within scope of employee, clerk, labor, manager, other workers to be able to support all the activity of organized or company in order to achieve predetermined goal. Of course, the human resource function is we have the increased HR effectiveness. Next. The role of HR and organization is very important because this HR is system manager by paying attention to important aspects such as training, development, motivation. This is very important for the employee. These case human research are used by management. Each one the important indicator for achieving organization goal effectively. Okay, data component human research, the component HR that to improve and manage HR in developing a business are. We have the number one is the quality of work and innovation. So the employee also should be innovation, not only the working in the manufacture, in the table. No, we should be the quality of work and innovation. And the number two, we have also the honestly at work, of course. And the third, we should be the attend at work. So if you lazy, how come? How come to improve of our quality if they are lazy? You know, this is to be attend at work. And then also the attitude in work. Of course, we should be have the attitude. We should be attitude with the boss. We should be the attitude with the friend. We should be the attitude with relation. Okay. So and then also that we have the initiative and creative. We should be the creative. We should be innovative. Yeah, we should be have the from our inside there should be have the initiative and creative, and then the cooperate with other parties. Yeah, the cooperate with other parties. Of course, we should be the cooperate with other parties. Harus bekerja sama dengan yang lainnya. Ya, harus bekerja sama dengan yang lain. Tidak hanya di sebelah belah kita saja, but each section is better, should be cooperative with other parties. And then we should be reliable in work. And also we should have the knowledge of work. Of course, we don't really have the knowledge, so no meaning for us. We should have the knowledge of work. And then we should be the responsibility to work. Of course, all the employees should be responsible. And then the last, we have the utilization of time at work. Okay. This is function and purpose of managing HR. HR management function is one. The function of manpower procurement include of the activities of determining of needs for manpower, both term of quality and quantity. Of course, this is very important for us. Searching for such of manpower effectively and efficiently, conducting selection of the applicant, placing work in the appropriate position, and providing education as well as training need for the employment of tech or new workers. Maintenance function. Maintenance function is work include the implementation of economic and non-economic programs, which are expected to provide work peace for workers so that they can work calmly without for concentration with organization. And purpose of human resource management. The goal of HR management is to change to productivity contribution of people in the company. the HR department is said to important because it does not control many of the factors to make up HR. Sure, for example, capital, raw material, also the previous, kilo speaker talk to material also, procedure. This department does not decide on strategy or supervisory treatment of employee. Implementation of resources. Management of human resource, attract, mutation, transportation, and activity of company leader to move employee from one job. Jadi jangan khawatir ketika kita dipindahkan dari satu tempat ke tempat yang lain dengan sama posisi. It means for the one to promote for our future skill. That's why we should be, if the employee, if your boss want to transfer to this section, one section, for the access other section, it means to improve your skill and then to improve your motivation, to improve your position. Okay, thanks. Again, the third number, management of human resource motivation. Of course, this is motivation is very important. Motivation is stimulus and encouragement for employee to work more effectively to productively. Motivation can be in form of inspiration, enthusiasm, and encouragement to employee so that they can work well according to features for the entrepreneur. Motivation can be done in two ways. Okay, first, the giving semi-material incentive. You know, incentive not only the money. Yeah, incentive. So we giving motivation is not the from giving money, such as placing employee the right place, providing educational training, then providing work facilities, and each. The number two, providing material incentive. Yeah, almost all the employee, almost the employee we should be have to get money, right? Should we have the incentive with the money, right? Yeah, this is number two, is providing material incentive, providing motivation by providing wage. Salary is very important, but we should be know, we make the weak capability first, quality first. Of course, in the end, we can get a lot salaries. Bonuses that are educated to sufficient for their living needs. Okay, it's number four. Number four is management of human resource job, actuating to carry out HR planning. It is necessary to carry out actuating action. This certainly aimed at getting human resource who are full of discipline, obedient and loyal in carrying out their duty and work. Position analysis in human resources. Yeah, I think you also if the working, I think it's good the position already. But if we good already position, we should be the increase the position. Of course, we also want to increase my position of course. Of course, they might want to increase, and also you also want to increase your position. I believe that, and then. In career job analysis, there are several principles that need to be considered. Namely, the process of job analysis is carried out to understand to the responsibilities of each position and contribution of the result of the position to achievement of the organizing result of goal. And then the objective of this analyzed activity is the position, not the position holder who hold the position. Even though the date of stand from incumbent through observation, interview, questionnaire, product result from the job analyzed. Is the form a job description or job specification, not description of the person. Position that will take reason a job description are positions that are in accordance with the current organized structural. This use of job analysis. This is live because this is already left already. So this is for the last use of job analysis. Yeah, you hear administration function. This function is closely related to the human that are also related to control and control function. For company that have used ISO also, yes, because this ISO is very important, you know. ISO is like for the quality, ISO is international standard organizing. Yeah, this is for the quality, like the ISO for 9000 is ISO for international. Yeah, you really need it. All the function HR management require job description in carrying at various activities from requirement. Selection and place of new employee designated require education, training program. This is important. So I hope this is for my last explain for you. So this for the short time you can check for the what of kind is important. So if you have the question, so don't hesitate to contact me, or you can WhatsApp me, or you can email me. Okay, just enough for my presentation by today. Thank you, Mala. So we will continue later. So if we have the other time, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Henry. Sorry, because we have the limited time also. Then now, for the three speakers, have already sharing the knowledge. Before we close, is there any question from the all participants for Pak Henry?
Yes, if can I ask you one question for Pak Henry?
Okay, Bu, silakan Ibu.
Yeah.
But
Could I have
question, Bu.
could I ask you in Indonesia or in English?
Indonesia is better, you know, because this is almost in Indonesia, Bu. Ya, ya.
Okay.
Sama dengan Magister Manajemen juga di sini, Bu. Ya, jadi ini agenda Magister Manajemen Universitas Indonesia yang kita adakan setiap semester kita adakan untuk international webinar. Dan Ibu Mala ini juga adalah mahasiswa kita yang prestasinya juga luar biasa. Ibu Mala juga dengan MC kita juga. Ya, ini orang-orang hebat dua-dua ini, Bu, MC dan Bu Mala ini, Bu. Oke, Bu, silahkan.
Baik, oke. Berkaitan dengan tadi yang Bapak sampaikan mengenai komponen HR management, saya menjadi tertarik ingin bertanya, apakah perilaku orang dalam organisasi ini berubah hanya dari HR management program atau dari diri karyawan itu sendiri? Atau adakah peranan pemimpin dalam hal ini? Jika iya, sejauh mana pemimpin itu membuat perubahan, Pak? Atau untuk membuat kebijakan saja terkait kesuksesan dalam bisnis ini?
This is good question nih Bu, bagus, sangat bagus pertanyaan Bu. Betul Bu, malah ini juga HR Bu ya. I'm afraid to answer Bu. Ya, tapi Bu malah juga HR di company dia. Ya, ini sama Bu, itu nggak bisa di HR saja. Kembalikan lagi ke kitanya juga. HR also the important Bu, dan kita juga important ya. HR ada regulation, but we have also the motivation. Ya, sometimes also HR sudah kasih prosedur yang bagus, tapi kalau di kitanya juga tidak bagus penerimaannya, how come to improve? Ya, jadi ini harus bersama-sama, together, ya, together and HR also. Ya, HR itu sudah mempunyai requirement, sudah mempunyai prosedur yang ada, dan kita tinggal menjalankan. Kadang-kadang apa Bu? Dengan prosedur yang ada, ya, employee itu juga nggak setuju, tapi kita harus ikutin. Jadi karena kita bekerja di satu perusahaan, we work together, ya, dengan company. Of course, kita harus support HR regulasinya, ya, prosedurnya. Kita tidak bisa bekerja sendiri, ya, kita tidak bisa what I want to do up to me. No, ya, tidak bisa. Jadi bagaimanapun kita harus prosedur, kita mengikuti prosedur yang sudah dibuat oleh manajemen, kita ikuti, ya, kita ikutin. Ya, kalau misalnya in case we not accept, ya, we not accept with regulation of company, so for me, take or leave it. Yeah, I want to like that style. So sama, as long the regulation if follow me, also improve for me, I want to join to continue with good well. But if tidak sama dengan regulasi saya, dengan maunya saya, ya, I cannot do also. I cannot push the company, so I'm late. Ya, seperti itu Bu. Kalau saya ya Bu ya. Ya, mungkin itu dari saya Bu. Ya, dari saya seperti itu. Ya, this is my answer because I have knowledge. I'm clever. So this is a lot of company inside in the world also, in the same the island also, same the place also, many company. How come I push my heart like I not accept that? Ya, seperti itu, Bu.
Okay, baik. Terima kasih, Pak. Thank you very much for your answer.
Ya,
So,
mungkin
I think it's enough for me right now.
Iya, ya. Bu Mara, so you want to make the additional to answer?
Can I ask question?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me? I want to ask question. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. You can start.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm preparing my thesis about sustainable performance. So, and I know one of the part of organization can affect to sustainable performance, human resource. So, I want to ask Doctor how human resource management can lead or affect the organizational culture, and what is the role of human resource in organizational culture, and how they can affect it, and how they can use organizational culture to lead this organization to sustainable performance.
Okay, thanks for the good question, Mr. Dan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, company, of course, we have each company have the HR. Also, the HR have the regulation we should be to follow, right? Yeah, of course. Also, the HR also not like person, each person to make the procedure. No, of course, HR also any before they announce the procedure to employ. Of course, they meeting first together with owner maybe, with HR was also together also the meeting. So after that, what of kind the good procedure for employee?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of course. In the end, we should be also, we understood this is a company also there should be profit, you know. Of course, if company is not profit for what, you know, procedure, of course, this is we should be, yeah. But sometimes, you know, sometimes also we not think about that, we just think about we also, we just think about me only. So because there should be the increase the salary, but should be increased for the everything, but the cost of company no catch up about that, so no giving. Yeah, that's correct, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think you also the clever also. You clever also the same like the unit equation. You clever, you graduate from Magister also. You clever, you clever, you can do what do you want. So I mean, so if you want like the salary, like you want to like you current the salary not enough to catch up your life. So you try to ask to approach to your boss. You talk about your boss because you have the many job but not enough to catch up your salary. So after if your boss is accept, it's okay. But if the boss you not accept, so no idea, no choice, you should be like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Correct?
Yeah,
Are you agree?
we have in Sudan, we have a negative pattern image about human resource. I used to work at IT office. So when we want to talk or to deal with human resource, oh, we just have this negative impact. They are unfriendly. So I don't know why we put this negative impact or this negative pattern about human resource. I don't know whose fault is this the employee or the human resource employee themselves. So
Also, I understand what you mean, you know. Yeah, that's why it is important, you know. This is company should be know also the how the need of employee also that company should be that HR is in the middle position, you know. There should be approach with the employee and should be approach also for the owner, right? Yeah, management. It means that not easy for HR. Yeah, not easy for them make decision about the HR about this, you know. But HR should be announced to employee. Yeah, and then so maybe also not easy, you know. Employee also the somewhat of announce you from HR to employee. Sometimes employee is not understood what HR meaning, what manager want. Yeah, that's why this is of course the HR is in the middle. Yeah, should be approached with the employee, should be approached with the management. Yeah. You also when you HR, you should be the improve. You should be informed what of kind of employee needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be the informed. Don't operate, you know. Sure. Yeah, you don't operate. You should be the informed choice because you between in management and between the employee. Yeah, you should be if they accept. You teach them, you inform them. If you not accept, no choice, right? The company should be get the profit. I understand that Sudan maybe not many alert the manufacturer. Also, maybe the difficult for employee or jump each company others, right? Yeah, but in the Malay, you know, many manufacturer, many oil and gas in the Malays, you know, many manufacturer in Indonesia, Singapore, also is the person. If agree, we can continue. If not agree of regulation of employee, we leave. Enough.
Yeah. So, thank you so much.
For you know, you always do work, but not from your heart.
Yeah, not from
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And this there this will be a lack of motivation, because work without a lack of motivation is just, I just work, but without no creativity, no motivation, no innovation. I just work for living. But it's better to create this motivation for employees, to create their loyalty for this organization, so they will give you more than you give them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you
important.
so much.
You
Thank
too.
you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Dan. Thank you very much. So, one more question that I need from Mr.
I think so, finally, because we have the limited time. So thank you very much for Dr. Henry. Now we have the three speakers already present and sharing their knowledge. Please give big applause to them. Well, if you still have any question, please direct message to me on Ken. I will distribute to all the speakers. Hope all the material given by speaker are useful. Thank you for your kind attention during the webinar. Happy weekend. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before I close, I will say hello, Prof. Khadijah. Prof. Khadijah.
Yeah, hello, but I don't on my camera because it's on already.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mala. Nice to see you.
Yeah, Mr. Khadijah, Prof.
Yeah.
We have finished this webinar.
Yeah, it's a very good one. Yes.
Is there any message for us?
Oh, you are all great.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Prof. Khadijah, please. We have to give you link for the absent, so for your student for the get certificate.
Yeah. Noted.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Henry. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for your kind attention during this webinar. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, and Kiki, please, it's your turn.
Okay, thank you very much. What a wonderful. Can everybody hear my voice? Can you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mala, for your very great presentation as moderator today. We will meet in another occasion of this seminar, maybe. Well, guys, all of the participants, thanks to the moderator for hosting the webinar so wonderfully. And also to all the participants who were very enthusiastic during the webinar. And finally, we are at the end of the event. I am, as an MC, would like to thank all the participants, in particular our biggest graduate, and appreciation to all the keynote speakers and committee. And we don't forget, we represent all the committee in charge of apologizing profusely for all the mistakes during this event. Jalan-jalan ke Pulau Putri, jangan lupa membawa sampah tomat. Berakhir sudah webinar hari ini, semoga bisa memberi manfaat. Let's close this event by saying Hamdalah, Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thank you very much. And wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Makin dekat dan makin dekat kepada seluruh pengguna atau konsumen dari Indonesia. Kita memiliki hiburan dari Sabang sampai Merauke, dari desa sampai kota, dan juga digunakan dari rumah dari house sampai rumah highlight dan seluruh.
I'm sorry for our mistakes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kalau untuk yang tempo, kalau yang lalu dan juga sel proses berikutnya. Jadi kalau panas dulu harus dipanaskan. Kalau ini nggak, dia colok dan